Welcome back to the Tide Repaint. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with yet another video, and this time I want to talk to you about the Magic Square MS-01 white version. Alright, so let's take a good look at the packaging here. The box looks different than the other box. It's actually got a transparent window. You can see into it. You can see the guy, and he's got like a little bag. I think he had that in the original packaging too. There's like a little bag in there covering him up, and there's that side. But I was when I got this, I was like, that was interesting. It's an interesting box and how they went about it. But I wasn't really expecting that. Now, there's two other versions coming out. There's the metallic version, and then there's the black version. I don't know if the boxes for those are gonna have different colors, or they're all just gonna, if this is white because this is the white version, or if they're gonna have different boxes for it. If they're all, this is just gonna be the new look going on. I don't know. Pretty interesting. But let's compare it to the original box. And I'm a fan of this artwork. Like, I really like this homage to G1, but you know, it just depends on. It's nice to have something that's different, to tell you the truth. If you get a different figure, have something that's kind of different. But yeah, I mean, I really like this kind of stuff more than that kind of stuff, but still kind of interesting. And the thing is they're the same size, same spec and everything, just different artwork, which this actually is the same artwork. I did get this from TF Direct, and they shipped it out to me super fast, and I was really excited about it. I think I've never really had any issue with TF Direct, other than one thing getting held in customs. It wasn't their fault, but yeah, super fast. And hey, if you order from them, you get a $5 coupon because this is over 100. And then if you've been ordering for like a year or something, you start saving 3%. So am I plugging them? Yes, I am actually. They did great getting this to me. So this one here is just a repaint of the first one that was out. And so if you have not seen my first review or discussion on the first one, then, well, go check that one out. But this is pretty much the exact same figure. But I really dig the paint scheme, and I really like it. And I'm not one to buy MP10 in 6 different colors because that just wasn't appealing to me. But I did like this guy. And this guy looks like kind of an Ultra Magnus. Now, they don't call it Ultra Magnus. Nowhere in there is there anything to signify this is an Ultra Magnus, just a white one. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I pulled this thing out of the box was that it was a different white than I expected. Now, I expected a bright white, and pictures show it looking like a bright white. But it's more of kind of like that Cadillac Escalade color with the kind of a pearl white. And I like the look of the pearl white. I actually think it looks good. Now, I don't think this, can't tell if this is paint or plastic, but if you look and see how there is, the camera can pick it up, and I'm sure it's picking it up, I'm just not, my screen's not showing it. The pearl white right here, and then the bright white, so it gives a little separation of the leg and the joint and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm just digging the paint job on this. And I think that the head, that blue on the head, I mean, that just looks good. I like that. The paint in the eyes, some reflective red eyes. And then that clear green in the waist, complemented by green paint right here. That just looks good. Then I like how they use a really dark colored, kind of a speckled metallic look for the thighs and the waist, and then it matches the stripe. I just think this was really well done, and it looks really good. One of the downsides still is I don't like the transparent windshield. It would have been better to have a transparent windshield if they would have done something inside there. Now, with my Prime, what I did with the first version is I put some black construction paper in there, just cut it out to fit, slid it in, and it looks like it looks good. And you'll see that when we do the comparisons. But here is the matrix, and same matrix pretty much as the other Prime. But it looks good. I think it's a decent looking I left a fingerprint just touching it. But and I love the chrome. So from the back, still the same stuff that you see. The breakup between, well, the stripe's actually a different color than right down here. Between the pearl white, bright white, it's just multiple different, and it was intentional. Like, I could tell this is intentional that they did that, but I really like that. The gray that they put there, like that's just nice touches that they did. I just think it looks good. And one of the funny things is that I've been using the transform element as my main display simply because I just like the way that one kind of presents a little bit better paint wise than the Magic Square one. And I have to say that I kind of do appreciate a matte finish. I always thought I liked the shiny bling bling finish more than the matte finish, but I do appreciate that matte finish. So here is side by side with the Magic Square first version, and one of the first things I want to point out about this is that I don't know if it's paint or plastic, and it looks like it could be that one of the, kind of like what Extra Transboss does and puts out a plastic with a nice sheen on it. But I do like having these two different versions. One's matte, one has a nice shiny gleam to it. And it's not super bling bling, but it does look pretty good. And I mean, you can even tell by looking at the head and how the head kind of shines, and then the matte finish on that one. And I like having a mix of both, and so that kind of works for me. The other thing is that it looks like this is a different shade of blue, but I might be mistaken just because I have my little fake cover up going on with that version of my Prime. But that's how they look side by side, and you know, really, it's just repaint. I mean, on one hand, I'm really excited about the look of it, but on the other hand, it really is just a repaint. And if you want to think about it like, hey, this could be an Ultra Magnus, like old school type Ultra Magnus, would be cool if somebody made some sort of a kit to put some armor on this guy and turn him into Ultra Magnus. That would be outstanding, actually. It would be quite impressive. So for the back, what you notice here is how this is painted. I've been pointing out the accents, but it's just all red right here, which I wouldn't want any paint on the red version on the Prime. And then there's no like variation in this area. It's all one color, but he's got his signature blue part right down there. And then down at the feet, for whatever reason, the lights are different colors. So I don't know what the point of that is, but they did take the time in the first one to paint this or make this a different color, whether it was paint or whether it was just cast in a different color, but they took the time on that. But yeah, you can tell they're the same figure. Here he is side by side with Transform Element, and I want to say that I'm a fan of, I wouldn't want to put the MS-01, the original Prime one, next to this guy side by side and display them, because I actually like the variation in the molds. I like if you got two figures similar like this, that you would have two different molds. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but I do like the kind of whole overall look of Transform Element a little bit more than Magic Square. I do think the thighs are a little too thin, but you know, I'm curious if Transform Element would do any repaints or anything. But then again, repainted like this, I think the bulky size lends itself to a Ultra Magnus character a whole lot more than it does to the Prime. Just the whole look of it, I think that looks good next to each other, especially if there was some sort of add-on armor kit for this guy. It would be an amazing Ultra Magnus in my opinion. Here he is next to the Takara Ultra Magnus, and the thing is that I think the Takara Ultra Magnus is too bulky. And I would actually like to have maybe the skeleton like this guy to go inside of some armor like that. And I've always kind of thought that's the route that they would go. And if you just kind of look, I see how it could happen. I think I'd like to see him a little bit slimmer and trimmer and not quite so bulky. I don't mind the height and the size. It's just the bulk of him. He's just too bulky. So if you kind of I'm looking at getting this guy as kind of like a secondary Ultra Magnus replacement, but this guy's just huge. Just huge. Wonder if I could clip those on the side of him. Yeah, I don't know. I never was very impressed with this guy, with the Takara version of Ultra Magnus. I mean, you could tell who he is by looking at him, but really wish somebody else would do a good Ultra Magnus. There he is in a display, hanging out with Optimus Prime. Yeah, I probably need to clean this up because it's a bit cluttered in here, but yeah, it looks pretty good. Kind of blends in. I like to kind of reposition it just a little bit. I don't want so much, I like to have different characters and break up the monotony of the color and not have too many of the characters of the same color right next to each other. Break up that monotony. So this guy does look good. I'm glad I picked him up. I don't think I'm in on any of the other variations. The metallic one, I don't think they did enough metallic on that's coming out. And the black one that's coming out, I just don't need the, I don't know, that's not shattered glass or whatever. I don't know what they call that one. But anyway, let me know what you think of this thing. Are you going to pick it up? Are you interested in Transform Element doing any recolors? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and Tiberium Hanger out.